Hello, New Skin. It is so great to be with you today. Thank you. I love seeing this, the ticker of how many of you are joining, just continuing to climb and climb and climb. What an incredible opportunity for us to come together and talk about something that I'm personally very passionate about. And I'm sure by the end of the call, after you've heard from Dr. Mark Bartlett and from Anjanelle Davis, that you're going to be just as excited as I am. So, but let me just start with a big hearty welcome. We are so glad to be a part of this New Skin family with each of you, to be a part of something where we get to get outside of ourselves and look for a way to be able to truly empower others, whether it's by providing them with incredible skincare or wellness products, or by just empowering people with other opportunities that may not have been presented to them prior to you reaching out. So there are so many ways, this enriching culture we get to be a part of. I'm just so grateful to be a part of this with each of you. And then to be able to come together today and talk about the introduction of a new product that's going to further enhance that opportunity for each of you is something that I just wish we were already there, but I don't want to wish our lives away. We got a lot of important things we're going to do between now and then. So let's stay focused and just get to what's coming. And as you can see on the screen, we're here today to talk about how we're going to prepare together. And the key word in all of this today is going to be partnership and togetherness. How we're going to prepare together to participate in the single largest product launch in the history of New Skin USA. That's what we all have in front of us, each of us collectively and collectively. And so let me tell you why I believe that's what's possible. If we can go back to the previous slide, I want to reiterate one important point. As you look at this, I love that we see New Skin. We see Pharmanex. We also know that New Skin is the number one, the world's number one, what's the phrase? Beauty device platform brand. I want to make sure I get that right. But we are the number one beauty device platform brand in the world. So you take that beauty device platform, the New Skin positioning, and Pharmanex, and what we're about to do is bring a product that unifies all of those together. It brings all of those together in such a way that gives us the confidence to say we're about to participate in the largest launch in the history of New Skin USA. And again, we're going to do that together. So we'll get more into what that means and why all those are going to come together in such a powerful way. But let's go on to the next slide now and share a little bit about this market opportunity and what gives us so much optimism. If we go to the next slide, you're going to see the trends are in our favor. So not only did we all come out, we're coming out of 2020, where this beauty supplement category took on a significant meaning in the United States specifically, especially. This work from home era became something that people started to be even more mindful about. What does this real estate look like for me? And how do I take better care of myself, both inside and out? And so as we're continuing to push through this work from home era and learn how to better do that, we're excited that we're going to be able to bring a product that's going to further help people achieve their goals on this front as well. And then you look at the trends on the next slide and where we're headed. This is really exciting to be a part of this particular category. But not only are we seeing phenomenal growth in the beauty supplement category, but I look at where we are as a New Skin USA. Never in our history have we had more customers than we have now. Never had more leaders like you than we have now. We've got an incredible amount of energy that's coming from each of you. And that's one of the things that I love the most, is getting my daily interactions with you are so positive, and there's so much positive, contagious energy that's coming from you. So you take this really wonderful New Skin community that we're all a part of, and then you couple that with this incredible category of growth that we're seeing. And you go to the next slide and you can see that there's one ingredient that stands out above them all. And that's the collagen ingredient. You look on the second line. The collagen ingredient is the fastest growing ingredient of all of these in this growth category. You can look in 2020, 37.9% growth, much bigger than all the rest of them. And we go on to the next slide and you can see that we're poised now to be able to take this Collagen Plus product you're going to learn more about today, from our scientists and our marketing team. And we're going to come into this right at in the early stage. 2020 is when the momentum really kicked in. We now have the opportunity to take full advantage of these trends, and you get to take a world-class collagen product with a proprietary blend and share those with your customers and customers that will be joining you. But you can see that the projection isn't for that to slow down anytime soon. In fact, as you look, these guys are projecting from clear out to 2023 that it's going to continue to grow by 38% or so, which when you look at how big the category already is, and then on top of that, another 38% growth over the next few years, it's an exciting time for us to be a part of this. And that's why I'm thrilled that you've chosen to spend your time with us today, to get on and learn a little bit more about what this might mean to you and how you can better prepare for what lies ahead. And so in order to do that, let's move on to the next slide. I'm excited to be able to make an introduction to somebody that most of you know. Some of you who are brand new to us haven't met Dr. Mark Bartlett yet, but I've known Dr. Mark for a long time. This is a man that's committed to product quality. He's committed to products that make a difference in people's lives. And as he and our team of scientists have been working on this one, I'm just thrilled by what I'm seeing. You're going to hear from them more about the science, why this particular collagen is so meaningful and so effective, and then some of the clinical results that have come as the team's been preparing for this. So I'll be back a little bit later in the call, but really excited to be able to turn the time over to Dr. Mark Bartlett now. Mark?
Thank you so much, Justin, and it's great to be here. So let's start by just talking about collagen itself. So it's a big category, and it's interesting. One of the first questions that I get as a scientist in this area of collagen is, wait a minute, you know, like collagen is something that's, sure, it's in your skin. It's a very important structural component, but will eat collagen, if you just eat collagen, does that really get into the skin? Does it really have any benefit? And most scientists, maybe even some of your doctor friends would say, well, I'm kind of skeptical because collagen is really just a type of protein. So it's really something that then once it gets into your gut with all of the acid and the proteolytic enzymes just gets broken down to amino acids. So how can that possibly help? And it's interesting, but we have learned that certain proteins, you break it down to a certain point, it's called a peptide. It's a short string of amino acids, and that those can actually make a difference in the skin. And how do we know that? Because over the last 20 years or so, there have been various studies that have showed that they can. So I wish that you could sort of see what goes on in the background. You know, we have a 6S process. And part of that 6S process, if you see the first couple of S's, is selection and sourcing. And as scientists, that's what we do. We say, well, okay, if we're going to do a collagen product, we need it to work. That's called efficacy, right? If it doesn't work, and if people don't notice it, then they're just going to stop using it. They'll go look somewhere else. So, you know, that's our pride in our research and development department, is finding ingredients that actually do work, that have studies. And if they don't have studies, we do it ourselves. If they do have studies, we'll do another study ourselves. And so I'll describe a little bit about that today. But so it's a little bit like shopping. If you just go back again to the first slide, it's like shopping. And what I love about being a scientist at Nu Skin is they say, well, when you go shopping for this ingredient, it's part of the 6S process: selection, sourcing, specification. So we're going to give you the budget to buy a Mercedes. You don't have to go looking in the Geo Metro sort of area. Buy the Mercedes because that's the one that's going to work. And so that's what we have been able to do. We have found a source of collagen. And so you can see from the left here sort of the collagen strand. And if you use a certain type of a process, you can actually break it down to what you'd call a hydrolysate. And so we found this bovine collagen that is actually really nicely studied, really nicely controlled. So you see on the right side of the slide now this kind of a gamish. It's once you've broken down that peptide, the amino acids, you've got a bunch of peptides, and it's really a complex mixture. Some are short, some are long, some are single amino acids. So this is kind of where a lot of companies leave it. This is where they're selling a collagen product and it looks a bit like this. But the next step is really important, or the next several steps, where you now sort of do a further purification. You're using HPLC or using other techniques to make sure that you have the specific peptides that are bioactive and that will help the skin. And then you also have to do further, each batch, do the HPLC, do the studies to make sure that you have the right components. So that's where we are with the major material here that we've chosen. And the next slide describes the dual action of such a strategy. So if you go to the next slide, we have what's really unique about the right collagen peptide is that it kind of sends a signal to the cells that are within your skin to say, wait, I can see a peptide floating around here that tells my body that there's some breakdown that's happening. And we don't like it when there's too much breakdown of the collagen. So it's time to rebuild. So it's kind of like that key in the lock there, where it's really the foreman, where it comes in and sends a signal to the nucleus to say, hey, you need to start upregulating the production of collagen in the body. And what's really unique is there's lots of other keys floating around. They're actually also used, that peptide, as part of the building material. So it's kind of like, you've got the foreman and the building material working together. And if you choose the right peptide and a really good source, that's what's happening. You have a dual action. So the next slide will describe studies then. Here's 3 studies that were done on this particular bioactive collagen peptide. On the left, you'll see this is a study that was a 4-week study, and it measured elasticity in the skin. And what we showed after 4 weeks was this really nice, in the light green or blue bar there, that demonstrates the increase in elasticity. And this is an objective test because you have some really cool equipment in the dermatologist lab that's able to measure this objectively. And what's really interesting to me is if you read the study a little more deeply, that effect persisted over 8 weeks after taking the product. And it was more pronounced in those people who are over 50 years of age. So it's good for all of us, even older guys like me. The middle one talks about wrinkle volume. So we have some really good technology that they use to sort of measure the depth of the wrinkles, and showed there a really nice decrease, a 20% decrease overall in wrinkle volume. And then on the right side, you'll see a study that was done, interestingly, on nails. So this was actually a 6-month study that showed a 12% increase in nail growth over that period, over sort of a baseline. And also that we saw a decrease, about a 42% decrease in broken nails. So, just another indication, really. It's not to do with skin, but it's another indication that this is actually working, that we have efficacy with this. So let's go to the next slide. I talked about shopping. Before I go back to shopping, which I guess I've got my mind on shopping too much tonight. Here's some more studies looking at the actual, not just, pro-collagen type 1 increasing in the skin in this study. And also you see elastin increasing by nearly 20%, which is just a beautiful thing. And then another skin important protein called fibrillin. So that's another study that shows after 8 weeks of supplementation, the impact of the right kind of collagen peptide in an ingredient in a product. So let's go to the next slide. So we've talked about the bioactive collagen peptides. And so now we've bought the Mercedes, and now it's time to ask your spouse for the extras, right? So it's great. It's good to start there. But the studies that we've been doing over the last few years have indicated to us that there are other ingredients that you can use that can also sort of enhance these effects and really help in the skin. And one is lutein. Lutein is probably familiar to many of you. It's a yellow carotenoid. And studies show that that does have actually a really nice benefit in the skin. And we're going to talk just a little bit about, the antioxidant skin protection that lutein does offer specifically for the skin. And then there's phytoceramides. So ceramides are a component of the skin. It's kind of something that helps to protect the hydration of the skin. It's kind of like a glue or a mortar that holds all the bricks together. It also helps provide for the skin kind of an extra level of protection against stress. So ceramides are really important. And those of you who are personal care savvy have probably seen that in some topical products. But it's interesting that we have discovered some really nice studies that show that at the right level, taken internally, these phytoceramides can also have an added benefit. So this is, as a scientist group, when we went out shopping for the best ingredients and we started looking at safety and substantiation and selection and sourcing, this is what we came up with, these 3 ingredients that would show the greatest benefit for the health of skin. let's go to the next slide. I mentioned that those ingredients. So here you just have a quick look at the level of those ingredients. So 2.5 grams or 2,500 milligrams of these bioactive collagen peptides, 5 milligrams of lutein, which is a pretty nice whack of lutein, and then this extract of phytoceramides, 70 milligrams. And just in case you're interested, the lutein is also a really nice natural source. It comes from the marigold flower. Okay, so what's the next step? Well, the next step is to do our own study. And as we looked around at other sort of suggestions that were in the marketplace, we actually didn't see a great deal of, if any, other companies that were really studying their product. So we thought this is where we can really also have an edge. Let's study this. And so we did a double-blind placebo-controlled study over a period of 4 months. Our participants were between 40 and 60 years of age, 20 in the placebo group and 20 in the other. And we did a half face also with the LumiSpa, which we'll talk about a little later, but I'm going to focus on this particular product right now. So next slide. So here we see after 4 months, the difference between those taking the placebo and those taking the Collagen Plus product. So those 3 ingredients that I mentioned at the full dose once per day over that period of 4 months. And you can see with overall appearance, a really nice enhancement. Same with texture and also radiance. So these were, this wasn't just, asking individuals to sort of give an opinion, but rather this was dermatologists in blinded tests, meaning that they did not know which ones were treated and which ones weren't. So this was professionally done with clinical dermatologists that were able to clearly see a difference after that 4 months of use of this product. So we're really proud of these results and super excited that we have really a combination of ingredients that people will really notice as they take this regularly. I mentioned that we have lutein in the product. And, this is an edge that we have with Nu Skin that no other company has, where we can actually measure using the biophotonic scanner non-invasively. And, we've used this to measure carotenoids in the skin. And in the context of our Pharmanex products, it's really been about wellness. But I'm so excited to be able to introduce this as part of skin and appearance, because what we have here is proof after 4 months and seeing the carotenoid score rise. It's really proof to those who take the product that the ingredients are getting into the skin, which is where we need them to be. So this is another really nice enhancement of the science that we've done. So this will be my last slide here. Here are some of the claims that we're going to make with these really cool icons that marketing have put together. Helping boost collagen and elastin, clinically proven, as I've shared with you, supporting youthful appearance. And as I mentioned, one of the studies shows a reduction in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. I've mentioned that it is scanner friendly, level 1 skin carotenoid friendly. And I just want to draw your attention to the one in the middle there, complementary benefits. So as you use this product and this ingredient, and then there are other things, obviously that personal care and Nu Skin have to offer that will help with beauty and with appearing and with youthful appearance. And it's wonderful to see that we've actually done a study that shows complementary benefits as you use the LumiSpa. And I'm going to hand the baton over to Anjanelle, who will help share some more with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. I can listen to Mark over and over again all day long. He is fascinating, the wealth of science and knowledge that you have to share in a very friendly manner. So all of this information he shared is really setting us apart, distinguishing why this collagen is special, why this formula is special, how it's not just talk, but there's actual proof that you can see this improvement yourself tangibly. So you may be thinking, wow, this is amazing. Give it to me now. In fact, I saw a few of those comments. I want it now. But you know what? Guess what? Next slide. There's more. So our scientists are never satisfied with great. Mark is always pushing the team to like amazing levels. And so one more thing, well, we have heard how how amazing and the progress you're making with the LumiSpa. It's no wonder the difference it makes to the skin. And so we decided to, let's see, like Mark said, there's other products you can use to complement your efforts. So on the next slide, we decided to call it to the LumiSpa in the mix. So you can see here the placebo that in this study that after 4 months, the benefits that they were noting, and then people using the LumiSpa, the texture improvements, and then almost doubling those benefits when you're layering LumiSpa on top of the collagen benefits that you're already getting. So almost doubling those benefits. Amazing. Let's go to the next slide. And this one, we're looking at radiance. Again, when you add LumiSpa onto collagen, the increased effect that you're seeing in the radiance. So those are two things that you see when you look at somebody. Tangibly or visibly, you can see that with your eye, but you can also measure that clinically, which is what we've done with these studies at the 4-month mark. So let's go one more slide. And I really love this one because this is kind of setting up, talking about when you're really concerned about your skin and you want to improve it. And I'm going to toss it back to Mark to talk some of the statistics here.
Yeah, sure. So, when we did this study, it was kind of a 5-point scale, right? So the dermatologist looked at sort of a rating scale for signs of aging. And it went from severe, then to moderate, to mild, to minimum, to none. We thought, well, how do we best describe this? So we thought, let's divide it into 2 buckets. So those that had sort of moderate to severe signs of aging, and those that had none, mild to none. And what we've done here is, if you see the cross-hatched bar in radiance, for example, so those that were on the placebo that weren't doing any treatment, no product and no LumiSpa, you saw that there was a 25% chance that those people at baseline would fit into that really good bucket of none, minimum to mild signs of aging. But after 4 months on the product and the LumiSpa treatment, you saw that about 97% of those individuals now slid over into that bucket of between mild, minimum, and none in terms of signs of aging. And so on down the line. You see a really nice increase. Now went from 60% chance to being in that best bucket to, again, nearly 100% chance. Firmness, again, after 4 months, well, not everyone got sort of to 100%. It wasn't sort of 100%, but it was, went from like 10% up to more than half of the people that were in this minimum signs of aging category. And then overall appearance, that's really the summary of all 4 right there. You see an overall appearance. We went from about 25% people being in that, that really good rating scale for signs of aging to, again, way up in the 90s. So it's a really nice way to look at what happens after 4 months of using this treatment. Really good statistical rigor to this slide that I've just shown you.
Love that, Mark. Thanks so much. And people's desire to move out of that moderate to severe category to get into the mild to minimum, that is, as I'm seeing in the comments here, a game changer. Totally agree. So next slide. If collagen and what we've set up for you wasn't enough, well, you can layer on our LumiSpa as well to see even more benefits. And so we're excited to be able to tell you that you're nearly doubling the benefits that you're seeing with texture. Texture is huge. That is one of the top things that the eye will note when we mentally are rating the age of somebody, because of the smoothness and the quality, the young tone of the texture of the skin. To be able to improve that, and then the visible radiance, how the skin shines off because it's so smooth. You get more of a beautiful young reflection off of the skin. And so improving that 47%. So huge. Next slide, I want to pass this back to you, Justin. Oh, wait, I almost forgot about this one. So our scientists are already getting invited to symposiums. In fact, the first one, Mark, that you and your team will be traveling to is June, sharing this new information, this new science, leveling up the whole playing field when it comes to collagen. Anything you want to add to that, Mark?
No, this will be our first sort of, we've been invited to this meeting to share the science that we have uncovered here. And obviously we also have a manuscript in preparation. So we'll soon have, hopefully, a published study on that work that I shared with you.
And I'm just going to throw in one other thought before I pass this off to you, Justin. Justin loves it when I go off on tangents. But one thing that I also want to note here, we've listed slide after slide of things that are setting this product apart. There's one other thing that really sets this apart. We have an entire formula that Mark's team has clinically studied, not only in-house, but third-party verification as well. It's not just the peptide, it's not just the collagen that we've studied, it's the entire formula, which the competitors are relying on one ingredient and maybe not even doing the study themselves, just trusting others. And so we have not only on the individual ingredients, but the entire formula in-house and out of house validation for that. So with that, let's move into the next slide. And Justin, I'll hand it. Oh, I keep forgetting. Sorry, Justin.
Angela, you're awesome. Keep going. You're on a roll, so just keep going.
Thank you. So LumiSpa, we showed you how it could nearly double those effects. We've got a whole host of other products that you know and love that can level it up as well. So we're focusing on LumiSpa, but you know there's so many other products out there as well, our 180 system, our transformation system, the facial spa. So you've got the right products to back you up as you are leading out with the collagen story to really be able to differentiate yourself and set yourself apart. All right, Justin, thank you.
Hey guys, first big thanks to Mark and Anjanelle. These two and their teams have dedicated so many months and years into their work, and what we're about to bring to market is something that's going to be truly special. Nu Skin is known for its world-class products. We're committed to science and process and quality. And this is not going to be an exception. This is going to be a phenomenal product that you're going to feel proud to be able to share with your customers. You're going to be grateful to use it yourself. I know for me, I can't wait. And so I love that all of that is about to come to us, but I want to talk a little bit about what the next few months look like for each of you as you prepare for this. I love the energy I'm feeling. It's like coming through the screen and through the chat. And I feel the same way. I'm with you. So let's go to the next slide and talk a little bit about what happens between now and when you'll be able to really get your hands on this. So between now and June 30th is just go time. This is go time because it's going to matter whether you get to Ruby or whether you're a brand representative, the number of units you're going to have available during the preview period. And so, and I'll tell you, it's doable for everybody on this call to be Ruby or above by then. There's so many ways to get there, and you can talk with each other about how you do that and set your goals. And I tell you, me and my team, we're all in on helping you get there. We'll do whatever we need to do to help you get there. And so, but let me just say that for those of you that hit Ruby by the end of June, you're going to get access to 20 of the 3-pack. So 60 of them total, but 20 of those 3-packs. And as a little extra incentive, to be able to prepare in a pre-launch type manner. For those of you that get through 20 of those in the first 48 hours, we're going to turn around and give you another 23 packs. And that's only for Ruby and above. So brand rep are still going to be able to participate. So if you're a brand rep, gold or lapis, you'll get 5 allocations of these, which will still help you get off to a great start, share with your customer base, preparatory for that September launch. But for those of you that get to Ruby, you're going to have a huge allocation to be able to work with. And to get your entire customer base established preparatory for that big launch September 22nd. So between now and June 30th, it's all about running to Ruby. We're collectively unified in that. We're going to do everything we can. There's going to be a little something coming to help you get there, that more details on that coming soon. But wanted you to know that now so that you can set your goals and you can work with your team members to be able to get to that mark by then. And then just know that we're committed to providing you with all the assets you're going to need in every language, in every one of our major languages. I've seen questions about translation and what are you guys going to do? One of the things that I'm most excited about is the partnership that we're going to have together. So just as you guys communicate with your team elite, know that we're going to be meeting one-on-one with every single team elite over the next few weeks. And during those one-on-one sessions, we're going to do goal setting. We're also going to talk about what is it that you need? What are the assets you need? What are the resources you need? How do we work together to prepare for this biggest launch. And we're going to be responsive to that. We're working on translations into Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, Spanish, all of the major languages, so that you'll have the assets and the resources to be able to share with whichever customer base you want. You might have or neighbors that would appreciate one of those languages. Anyway, I just know that our commitment is to partner with you in a way that you have the things that you need, so that together, as we prepare, we're going to be able to achieve all of our goals. I'm really grateful that we have partners here at the home office, at corporate, that have worked hard to prepare already enough inventory. They're working to prepare plenty of inventory for us to break this record. And so just know that we're preparing on our end to do everything we can to empower you with the things that you need. And then from there, we're going to let you do what you do best. You share product better than anybody in the world. And we're so pumped to bring this particular product to you at this time. And I want to just remind you, it comes on the heels of what was a record year this past year in the United States. And so we're coming on the heels of a record year with all this momentum, all of you having, doing the things that you're doing. And then on top of that, we get to bring this particular product to the market, and you are the only ones in the world that get to share it. And I can't wait to get it into your hands and for you to be able to start experiencing it first yourself and then sharing it with your customers. And together, we're going to do something really special with this product. So I want to thank you again for the way you lead, for the way you love on your teams, the way you love on your customers. You're truly a force for good in the world. You are empowering others to improve lives. And together, we're going to continue to demonstrate our difference. And through this great product, empower people with something that's going to not only improve them as we saw on the inside, but in the outside. And that's demonstrating our difference in another way. So thank you, thank you. More information is coming very soon, but I just wanted to thank first, again, Mark and Janelle, and then mostly each of you for what you do. We've got an awesome, awesome year in front of us. And as you see on here, leadership alignment. Our alignment with you is our commitment, and together we're going to do something special. Thank you, and take care until we meet again real soon. Bye now.